Still have to get used to the boat moving around. That's a new feeling for us. When the wind blew hard and we were on the stands up there at the Port of Everett, the boat would move a little bit, but nothing like it moves right now. And so we're still getting used to that feeling. Welcome back to another exciting and thrill-filled adventure with DIY Nautical Dream.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Rich.
Together we make DIY Nautical Dream. Alright, so we are back. This week is our full week on the water.
Yep.
First thing we notice, there's a ton of jellyfish.
Yeah. Man, it's a crazy amount. It's like, looks like millions of these clear, I think they're moon jellyfish. And they're everywhere. I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, that was kind of one of the first things we really noticed was just like, wow, are we getting invaded by jellyfish or what?
They're
so that's
partying.
Pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And then we washed the boat.
Yep. We want to get the boat washed. It's been super dirty from sitting up in the Everett boatyard. And yeah, just it's really dirty. So we just kind of thought we'd wash the decks a little bit and see how that turns out.
And then continuing to our DIY project, we installed our new rebuilt hatch.
Yep. So we want to get that newly rebuilt overhead hatch in, and hopefully that'll help stop some of the water and moisture leaking in through the duct tape that we've had on there for quite a while. So getting that in will be a really nice thing, and it's just one more of those projects we'll be able to knock off of our list. So it'll be a good thing.
And Galley overhead revision project begins.
Yeah. We never will be done with the galley, I don't think. So the galley is just one of those things that, it just seems like there's a lot of need for improvement. And we're trying to make it look like it's a boat galley, not like something you would see at IKEA or in somebody's condo or an apartment or something like that. We want it to look like it's a boat, and we're trying to just continually improve it and make it look a little bit more nautical, I guess. And so that's what we're working on. And I just get these ideas in my head, and we just got to try it out. So if worse comes to worse, we can always put that lovely padded vinyl box back in. We still have it, but we're going to try something a little bit different. So we'll see how this...
We kept it in case.
Just in case this doesn't work out.
Yep.
But we're going to give this a try, and I think we can make some dramatic visual improvements. So anyways... So that's what we got going on, and hang with us. We'll see how it all turns out.
All right, stay tuned, guys. We'll be back in a little bit.
See ya. Well, now that we have the boat at the marina and we're docked here, one of the things we want to do now is wash the boat. The deck of the boat is really dirty. I don't know how these things get so dirty from just sitting around. They're not driving. They're not under trees. But yeah, it's dirty. The deck is dirty on this. So Baby and I wanted to get to work on this and see about getting her cleaned up. We thought it would just hose off, but that definitely was not the case. So it's going to require a little bit more hands-on approach, and so we're going to have to scrub this by hand and then hose it off and just keep on trying. But it's starting to clean up. It's just very dirty. While we're cleaning the deck of the boat, it became pretty obvious this thing is really big. There's a lot of surface area on the deck here, so it's taken us a long time. It's not coming back spotless clean, like sparkling white or anything like that. Obviously, the deck needs a refresh on anti-skid, deck paint, things like that. Well, I guess this is about as clean as it's going to get for right now, unless we use something a little bit stronger than just soap and water. Maybe it'll come cleaner than this. Maybe it's stained. We don't know. We're planning on down the road possibly teaking the decks. I know people cringe when we say that, but we really like the view and the look of a teak deck on a boat. So that's something we're thinking about for later on down the road. Right now we have plenty of projects to do, so that's not high on our list. So as many of you know, this is a project boat. That means we have lots of projects ongoing at the same time. Some are in various stages of being complete than others. This large opening hatch is one of those ones We rebuilt the hatch. It was in horrible shape when we bought the boat. The plexiglass, the acrylic, was really crazed badly on it. It leaked, the seals leaked, everything leaked on it. So we rebuilt that. We're going to actually do a video on rebuilding these large hatches in the future. And so we'll detail more of what we did and how we made everything and replaced all the components and stuff. But yeah, now it's time to install that, and we're going to go ahead and do that. We picked a really rainy day, which is unfortunate, so we won't be doing any videoing of the installation, but let's go ahead and get her started. All right, so here's the plan for today. I want to be able to get this the rebuilt hatch back installed in here. This tape is just not going to make it without being replaced, and since we have the hatch rebuilt, ready to go back in, we're going to go ahead and do that. That's what the plan is for today. It's raining outside, so I guess we're going to get a chance to find out if it's going to be a good install or not, and hopefully it won't leak. And plus it's going to look a lot nicer to have the hatch back in there. But what I plan on doing is I plan on running these wires. There's these 5 wires right here for LED lights. I'm going to run those up in and around through here and then underneath this trim here, so they will not be seen. Where those are coming out from is right here, and which is going to be a light fixture mounting there. And anyways, yeah, that's for some future options with lighting, and then we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, we can always pull it out. We want to make sure we at least get it in there, and because getting it in there is the hard part. We can route it and all that, and then if we don't like it, we can always pull it out. So anyways, and so here's the base of the hatch right here, and so we've cleaned off all the 5200 that was on here as best as we could. We have it down to a fairly clean surface without really just putting a lot of time into it and possibly removing some metal, which we don't want to do from the base. But we have the butyl tape here, and this butyl tape stuff works really well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put a good solid layer, maybe even 2 layers of butyl tape on here, give it some time to compress down, and some of it'll go into the, you can kind of see there's a channel here. So some of them will go into that, some of the butyl tape will go into that channel, and we want to have enough to get some good squeeze out around these edges here. I do need to probably cut the paper backing here, the protective paper from the new lens that's in here. Yeah, from there we'll go on. And we have all brand new mounting hardware that's going to go in here, stainless. So yeah, we'll be able to get this down nice and tight. It'll look good.
A few moments later.
Well, we got the hatch in, fasteners in. You can see there's good squeeze out right here for the butyl tape all the way around. So we got substantial squeeze out, and then that'll keep on squeezing out over time. But yeah, we got good squeeze out. I'm not expecting any leaks around the base anyways, and then we'll just have to see how everything else goes over time. It was raining out pretty bad when I put that in, so we're not going to be able to tell anytime soon what was leaking, or if there are any leaks, or if it's just rainwater. But on the outside we had this hole covered up with duct tape. Well, duct tape doesn't come off easy after it's been on there for a while, so quite a bit of tape residue was left over. Had to scrape it off best I could, but I think this hatch will probably come back out, and we'll do a better prep job on that seal for the butyl tape to bed down better. But I don't expect it's going to leak, so, but we'll still want to pull it up just to get a better, cleaner installation from the outside. It'll look better, but for now it's in, and we'll go from there, move on to something else for now. Well, here it is, the first of many we have left to do. The large opening hatch is back installed. It looks pretty good. We eventually want to reinstall the teak trim around the base, but we want to wait for the squeeze out to finish squeezing out before we do that. As Baby and I are still adjusting to working on the boat on the water instead of on the jacks on the hard like it was up in Everett, one of the things that really stands out to us is, shockingly, these jellyfish. This is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I knew there was moon jellyfish here in the Sound, but not in these kind of numbers. This is just crazy. They're everywhere. So that kind of concerns us. Is it safe to actually run the engine, run the generator? Are these going to clog up the seawater strainers or what? Look at all these jellyfish, man, they're everywhere. Our biggest concern with the jellyfish right now would be is it safe to run the engine while we're at dock? Is it safe to run the generator? I just worry about the seawater pickups getting clogged with these jellyfish. I don't know if it's a problem or not. I have no experience with it. Any of you have any experience with these things? Is it a potential problem or is it nothing to worry about? Back before we were prepping to splash the boat, it was several episodes back, when we were wrapping up the galley overhead area, we installed the white vinyl box, the big white vinyl box that you see here in the pictures. Well, after we installed that and we stepped back and take a look at it, especially once we installed the new teak box next to it, we discovered there's kind of a flaw that we're not happy with. So see if you can see what we're looking at. This is a closer look with the new teak box installed next to it. So do you see what we're looking at here? There's something that's kind of wrong. It's just not quite right. The beautiful teak box with the light housing fixture on it next to it, that looks really nice. But then when it's up next to the vinyl box here, it just doesn't look right. So our next project is going to be tackling that and trying to do something about it. We're going to try and make this area a little bit better, a little bit nicer than it currently looks now. We want to see what you guys think. Tell us your thoughts. Here we go. So shortly after I held this light housing up next to the white vinyl box, I got an idea in my head. And so I quickly took some measurements and wrote it down on my scratch piece of paper I have here and kept the idea and thought about it for a little while and tried to decide if I could come up with something in my mind that was going to look better than what we currently have here. So with a couple of rough measurements in mind and an image in my head to go off of, Baby and I take off and go to the hardware store and pick up some oak lumber, and we bring it to the boat and start cutting this stuff up into the measured pieces and trying to figure out what we're going to do with it next. So we make good use of the scratch pad that we wrote the measurements down on and use that to help hold these pieces of wood into place. Took a few more measurements and started screwing a few pieces together, and we're starting to make a little framework here. So we're just trying to get the framework, the foundation of the idea, kind of mounted into the ceiling panels here. Trying to get that mounted and trying to figure it out as we go. There's nothing written down or drawn, no idea, no picture, or nothing like that written down on a piece of paper other than a couple of measurements. We're just going to town here and kind of developing the design as we go. Now we learned a few lessons from our past mistakes trying to cut those angles into the teak for the light box assembly, and I think Baby felt really bad for me wasting all that teak because I couldn't figure out how to cut the angles right. So we went out and found some tools to help us out here. So we have a digital angle finder and then we have a mechanical angle finder, and these are going to help us out. This is going to save us some money and materials, so we're not going to waste so many things down the road. These are very necessary for us. It helps us a lot. So with these tools in hand, we're going to go start taking some measurements and we're going to figure out the angle of the dangle here. So if you remember, I'm not a woodworker by trade. This is all really new to me, and so a lot of this is learning trial by fire. But here we go. So we're putting the mechanical angle finder up here, trying to make sure that everything is in alignment. And if it's not, we just need to know what the little angle changes are so we can cut them into the pieces and make sure everything looks really nice and all matches up. It's turning out good so far, but it's still a very crude design, and we're not sure how this is going to look in the end, but the framework's looking pretty good so far. Here we are. Just about got the underlying structure all framed in. So yeah. Coming along pretty nice. It's taken a lot of a lot of time to get everything all fit just right, so we can make sure that the teak plywood's going to fit in the area just right and fit into all the corners and nooks and crannies, etc. And then yeah, so we got, this is kind of one of those modified as you go projects, but we have a really good fit between here and here when there's a piece of 1/4 inch paneling put in there to simulate the teak plywood that we're going to put in there. But yeah, kind of see what's going on here. Yeah, so same thing right here. Got to make sure we can fit the teak paneling in there, so we're good. Made sure we're at 90-degree angles. 90-degree angles here and down there at the far side as well. So without giving it away, I think you can see what we're working on here. Any guesses? If you can guess what we're making here. Anyways, it's gonna look really, really nice. And it's going to match a few of the other items in the galley as well. Anyways, that's where we're at for now. But yeah, it's taking a lot of time figuring out. I had the idea in my head, but trying to get the idea into reality is a different story. But we're getting there. We're close. We'll see where we end up, but I think we're going to get there. I'm sure you've heard of the phrase by now, measure twice, cut once. Well, we're measuring more than twice. We're measuring probably 2 or 3 times, sometimes more, and we're hoping to only cut once. We don't want to waste any more material than we need to, so we're just going to take our time, try to get this to turn out good. The corner in the back, it looks really simple, but it was giving us some trouble. We're having a hard time getting everything to match up and to line up with the corners back there, and so we took our little angle finder tool, the little mechanical one. We were able to get that back in there and figure out what the angle was so we could match that onto a piece of 1/4 inch thick plywood. I'm telling you right there, that tool paid for itself in that one time. That made all the difference in the world. We were able to cut it, get it right, almost perfect fit the first time. So that's helping us. We are learning. We're slow at learning, but we're getting there. And these tools are really helping us do the trick. So you can see here in this picture, that corner piece is really coming into play. It's looking good. It's fitting really nice, and you can see from the face of the cabinet, it's really important that we get a good gap-free fit on all edges, on the lower face as well. And so by having good measurements and good gaps, good alignment, all those things are all going to play a part in this being a good fit. We don't want to do it if we can't do it right. We want it to look nice when it's done. Now with most of the underlying framework mocked up and tacked into place, it's time to see how the rest of it's going to fit. So we're going to take a piece of 1/4 inch thick plywood and we're going to start gap checking from forward all the way to aft to make sure we have the interfaces and the gaps the way we want them to look before we lock everything down and set this framework in permanently. It's very close. We're really happy with the way it's looking up here in the front corner. We just hope that holds true throughout the full length of the box. I think these following pictures tell the story the best of what we're trying to achieve here. You can see by this piece of 1/4 inch plywood fitting in between the teak box and the future box assembly. We're really trying to go totally gap free. We want these pieces to look like they belong together when they're fully assembled and everything's all finished. So we're taking our time, we're trying to do the job right. It's a slow moving process, but it looks like it's really working out well. So we'll see how this all turns out once we finish the mock-up stage. Well, we have most of the framework in place now. It's pretty much 100% mocked up as far as the framework goes. We're really going to know the difference once we start fitting in the teak panels and doing all that stuff, but I'm sure it'll require a little bit of fine-tuning down the road, but we're getting there. Baby's hanging out in front of the boat there at the dock. We're still getting used to seeing the boat in the water. It's still a really new thing for us. I wonder why the water's so far out.
I don't know.
Man, that's crazy, huh? All right, so welcome back. And yeah, so you saw what it looked like. We got the boat deck washed up. Looks pretty good. We showed you what the jellyfish look like around here. If anybody's experienced that, let us know in the comments. Do they go away? Do they get sucked into the intake filters, the sea strainers, stuff like that? I'm worried about like trying to run the engine or the generator or anything like that. I hope these jellyfish don't decide to plug up the strainers.
Or can we swim with them?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we don't want to. I think the water's too cold around here to swim. I don't know if I want to go in there, but you did almost get in the water,
Yeah.
so you sea legged it. And yeah, so the hatch went in okay. And so we'll see if that thing leaks over the next coming weeks. And if everything's good, we'll start installing that trim on there at some point. So I don't know. All in all, we're making some good progress on the boat. We'll see how this galley overhead revision project turns out. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So, baby, you want to wrap us up? Oh, hey. Does she look beautiful or what?
You're right.
Take a look at her.
You're
Huh?
right.
Looking pretty good, baby. I think I'm a
you,
lucky
honey.
man, huh? All right. Anyway, so, baby, you want to close us out here?
Yep. All right. So he's
See?
making me nervous.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe down below. Cling.
And we just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. And you guys pushed us over 600 now. So we're still making a little bit of progress on growing the channel. And if you know anybody that might be interested in this type of content, please send them our way. We'd be happy to see them joining on board with this journey we got going on here. So yeah, we're happy to be on the water. Happy to have splashed the boat. And one thing we have to learn is how to dock and get out of the marina in this boat, because
More practice.
yeah, that looks intimidating to me, and it's one thing that kind of scares me right now. So, but we'll see how it goes. All right, we'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Dang, girl.
You're right.
And am I lucky or what? Dang, if I only hit record, man.
I think you did.
Okay. Oh, man.
What? Did you record it?
I think I forgot to.
Okay, let's redo it.
Dang, if I only hit record.
It's recording.
Oh, man. All right.
So that's what. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Priscilla. All right, you end it.
All right, guys. Well, there you go.
Did we record it?
Hang on. Not yet.